Hello and welcome to Junk Journal Inspirations. My name is Emily and I am here today to share with you my project for Tracie Fox's May challenge in her Facebook group, the Foxy Crafters. I will link to the Facebook group in the description box below if you want to go check it out if you aren't already a member. But she's doing a challenge where you have to make a tag using only scraps. And I'm hoping that it's okay that I started with a tag base. It is sort of a scrap. It was intended for something and then I decided not to use it for that. So I'm going to call it a scrap. That's my loophole. I hope that's okay. So I want to try a whole bunch of different things with this little tag. Hopefully it doesn't end up being too much. I have all kinds of stuff here. First of all, I have 4 scrap bins sitting on the floor to my left. And I pulled out some stuff, but I can, go back to that if I'd like to. And then I have a bunch of other things. I have some embossing powder and an embossing dabber, some spray stain, and some paint. And I just have to say, the color of this paint makes me giggle. What the heck is territorial beige? I mean, I'm guessing like soil. I have no idea. It made me laugh. Oops. And then I have some distressing here. I have a Tim Holtz stamp and some archival ink. And then I have a stencil and a splatter brush and a Micron pen in case I want to do anything with that. Yeah, I sort of have everything sitting here ready to go. But I want to start with just kind of creating a background with the various papers that I pulled out of my scrap bin. This is an old blueprint. I just think it's cool with the lines and the color of it is neat. This is an old piece of, I think, player piano paper. And vintage dictionary page, a really awesome antique piece of cloth from the spine of a book. I keep everything. And on that note, I don't know, am I the only one that keeps like old masking tape off of things? My husband laughs at me. This came off of an antique book. I pull all that off and I keep it. It's no wonder I have like a ton of scrap bins. I have some scrap little pieces that were cut out of like a doily or something. This is a scrap piece of sheer fabric, a scrap piece of, tea-dyed doily. This is another off of an antique book. I think it was off of a book. I think it was, I want to say it was on the cover, but now I can't remember. But it is really brittle, but so cool. And then I have a piece of ledger and a piece of antique sheet music. And then I also pulled out some sewing pattern paper because that's always a good thing to have. So I think I'm going to start with that actually. I think, I don't know. See, here's where the indecisiveness starts. Do I want to cover the whole thing in this first or not? Yeah, see, this is where I just kind of lose it. Okay, let's, you know what, instead, let's use, I don't know. See, this is why I struggle using my scraps, because I never know where to begin. You know what, we're gonna start with this. And I'm just gonna sort of randomly pull off a piece here. And I'm going to use my glue stick and I'm going to glue that down. Let me grab a book to glue on here. All right, I'm just going to use my glue stick. I hope there aren't any bad words on this book here. And I will sew around the base of it, so I'm not terribly worried about you know, I just want to make sure that it's glued down enough that it'll make it to the sewing machine, if that makes sense. And I'm not worried about covering up the hole right now. I can always re-poke it. So that's not a problem. Okay, and then, all right, so we have that, and I'll cut around the outside once I have everything glued down that I want on here. Let's see. Let's do some ledger. Actually, let's just do the ledger all the way up that side. That works. So I hope you're all having a good day. And I'm not inking anything as I go. I'll ink around the outside probably, but there's going to be so much on top of this when it's all said and done that I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot. You know, yeah, I don't think it matters if it's inked or not. So let's do some dictionary page here. I don't know. I always worry about the words, but I think it probably doesn't matter too much. And I'm sort of tearing through it anyway, so it matters even less, really. All right, let's see. Maybe we'll put this down here. I don't know, I don't want to cover up. I don't want to cover up those lines. Sorry, I just got really quiet, didn't I? All right, I think we're gonna go there with it. And let me pull this off here for a sec. So yeah, what's everybody been up to? I'm finally getting time to film, and so that's fun. I've just been filming today, so things will come out at different times, but that's what I've been doing today. There we go. And then let's see, we already used ledger. Not that we can't use it again, but I don't want to cover up all of the sewing paper. I kind of want some of this on here. Maybe. Let's see. It's very brittle, so I just want to make sure I don't tear it too badly. I mean, it's already kind of torn, but just make sure I don't go too far off where I have to cut here. Oh, I think I actually lined that up almost perfectly with the edge, completely by accident. All right, so we're doing good here. We've got most of it covered. I'm gonna add a bit of doily. I like this part here that's nice and grungy. So I think I'll just tear a bit of that and maybe right there. Okay, and like I said, I'm gonna sew around it here in a minute. Whoops. This stuff is cool because you can add it right on top of text or whatever, and you can still see through it, but it just sort of adds another layer of you know, a different interest, I guess is the word I'm looking for. There, okay. And I'm trying to decide if I want to add anything else right now. I might not use the music paper, at least not right this moment. Oh, and I forgot this. Let's see if we can just get some of this really cool diagram and writing part here. I might actually throw some collage medium over top of this. I wasn't going to, but I actually might. So let's see where we want to put this first. We are just going to put that right there. I think. There we go. All right, now see, I was going to use this fabric on top of everything, but I think I've decided against that. Got glue stick strings everywhere. And what else? Oh, our piece of old masking tape. Let's see. Can't tell where the edge is here. There we go. I'm going to cut around this first so that I can see what I'm doing. And for that, I use a not so great pair of scissors because there's going to be glue. And that way, these scissors I only use for gluey pieces, and then I clean them with acetone every once in a while. You can get acetone at hardware stores, or I buy mine in fairly large quantities at Walmart, actually. I have bought it on Amazon before, but it's quite a bit more expensive than Walmart if you buy it that way, because you can usually only get it in, like, you know, quantities that people would buy for nail polish remover. And I buy like big metal tins of it. All right, sadly, this is all going to probably go into my collage bin. I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. I feel like when I use up scraps, I just end up having more scraps. All right. So there's our base. I am loving it. I do think that it would be nice to add this little piece here. So let's go ahead and do that. Ooh, my glue stick's almost empty. You can find a list of all the items I'm using here today with links if you're interested. That'll be in the description box. Sorry, I didn't finish that sentence properly. Okay, I think that's good for the background. I'm happy with that. Let me move this book over out of the way. And then I think, do I want to add? Yeah, give me just a second. I'm gonna go grab my my collage medium, and I think I'll go over this just to give it, you know, just to kind of finish it off a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna use this little piece of, oh, I can't remember what it's called, but you can find a link in the description box. It's just like a craft mat, but nothing sticks to it. And then I have my Distress collage brush and some vintage Distress collage medium. I think we'll just go over this. Probably have some in the lid here we can use. I love this stuff so much. It is perfectly, the texture is amazing. I love the color. It goes on really nice. I obviously could have used it to adhere the pieces, but I didn't think it through. But yeah, it can be used for that as well. I think it just adds a really nice vintage look and feel. All right, and these brushes are also amazing. They're just, yeah, they're perfect. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and dry this with my my heat tool, but I will turn off the sound so you don't have to hear the really loud heat tool. All right, there we go. So that's fairly dry. I love the little wrinkly pieces, and you know, it's got some really nice feel and texture to it. I'll still sew around it when I'm all finished, but for right now, I am loving that. So I need to poke through here. I think I'll go ahead and do that now. Hopefully. Probably made it a bit difficult. There we go. All right. Okay, now we just need to decide what else we want to do. I know that these pieces I'll probably put on later if I use them at all. So let me set those aside for now. I pulled out, I've not used this yet. This is the Tim Holtz Splat Box, but I figure I'm probably gonna get pretty messy here, so I'm gonna sit this here, and then maybe, it's not very, like, I feel like I'm using it right, but it's not very deep, so we'll see. We will see. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll see. I think before, oh, what do I want to do first? See, I'm so torn. I want to add some of the Vintage Photo Spray Stain. I want to see what it does. It may be a complete waste of time because I already put the Distress medium on top, or the collage medium, but let's just see what happens. So I'm going to test spray first because I haven't used this yet. So, and I'm going to grab a piece of something here for my scrap bin because I don't want this to get everywhere. I just want it, you know, a little bit. So let's see what happens. I'm always afraid to to actually hit the spray. All right, now let's turn it this way, and we'll get a little bit there. Okay, that's probably good. Let me clean off my nozzle. It says to clean it off every time you use it, so I try to pay attention to those rules. Okay, so we just have a little bit of spray there, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure how well that's going to dry, but I'm also not worried about the back of this because I'll probably back it with something. I want to make sure you can see. Okay. Next, I think I need to dry that before I move on. Trying to think what I want to do next. I want to use some embossing powder with my stencil, and then I also have the stamp. That should probably be next. So let's dry this. Move my splat box. And I'm going to go ahead and attempt to dry this, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so looking back, I should have probably done the distress spray before the collage medium. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a tissue. I hope this works. I'm gonna just press it down to pick up any extra that might be on here. I'm not going to wipe. I'm not going to do anything like that. Just down and up. So it took off a lot of it, but you can still see yeah, you can still see some of it. And I think it'll continue to dry. I hope so. All right, so next I want to do just a little bit of stamping. I don't want to go nuts. This is the reflection stamp set, one of the pieces. There's 3 of them. So everything's backwards. The print is backwards, but I think it's really fun. So I think I'm going to do this kind of right here. Let me grab something else to sort of stamp off on here. There we go. So my goal is kind of here, I think, where we don't have any writing. So I'm using archival ink in coffee. That's the color. It's a nice brown, a nice sort of light brown. All right, let me check. I think we're good. Could have gotten out one of my acrylic blocks, but honestly, this is just faster. There, that's kind of fun. Let's that's how I clean off my stamps. Isn't that awful? I know. All right, now there's what we have. It's just very subtle, right? Nothing too crazy. Now I want to do some embossing powder. And I need another, let's see, I need this. I'm gonna do up in this corner. And I don't wanna do a whole lot, just a little bit. So I think I will add another piece of paper under here. So I'll even get a better sort of pattern. Let me see, I don't want to worry about where the hole is. So, okay, I think this will be cool. Let's move this down. I'm gonna let it kind of run off the side a little bit. Okay, now that let me tear this a little more. I'm getting it figured out. Okay, there we go. That's what I want. All right, so I'm gonna use my dabber. I haven't used this before, so let me see if I have to shake it. Nope. And I'm just gonna dab it right on, and then I will use the embossing powder in copper on top of that, and then we'll heat it up. So let me get something ready to put my powder on, because that's always the messiest part. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this as firmly as I can while I do this. Let's see, just gonna start dabbing. Hopefully I can see it when it comes out. Is it coming out? Oh, it's starting. There we go, I think. And if it's not, you know, this is just sort of very abstract, right? So I'm not too worried if it's not perfect. I'm just adding interest. Okay, so let me move this and this. Put my lid on, and then put this over here. Sorry, I'm sort of off to the side. I have so much on my desk going on right now. There. All right, so now I'm gonna heat that before it dries. So give me just a second. All right, I think that turned out really cool. It looks pretty neat. It's not perfect, but I like it. I think it looks neat. Okay, now let me put my embossing powder away before I knock it over and spill it everywhere. There we go. It's like glitter, it gets everywhere. All right, now, what else? I've got embossing powder everywhere. Oh, I wanted to do some paint splatter, but before I do that, I was going to see if I could sort of, I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. I was going to outline my embossing a little bit, but I'm not sure now that I've started whether I want to do that or not, but too late. Maybe we'll just do a little bit. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like it. Okay, so what can we do? What can we do to remedy that? Probably numerous things. My first thought would be just cover it with something, right? So let's do that. Let's cover it. I'm just going to use a piece of this. So let me run some glue stick on the back of it, because I am gonna I'm gonna sew this, so I just need it to stay in place long enough to get it to the sewing machine. And I'm gonna cut it off. Down here. All right. There. Okay. Now I'm gonna splat a little paint. Let me cut this. There we go. My guess is that all of this would have gone much better had I not used the collage medium when I did. Like, I should have done everything and then put that on, maybe. That might have been a more wise choice. All right, so I'm gonna use some of this territorial brown and I'm just gonna put it on my desk over here. Because I've got this glass mat, so that'll be fine. And I'm just gonna add some to my splatter brush. All right, and then I'm just gonna hit it on my hand here, maybe. And I'm concentrating on this area here, but it looks like I'm, you know, kind of getting it everywhere, which is fine. Okay, that is good for that. All right, so here's what we have. And we've got a big glob of paint right here in the middle, but that's okay. So here's what we have. Just kind of a hot mess, right? I'm gonna take a second and I'm gonna go ahead and dry this, and I will take it to the sewing machine and sew around, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I sewed around it, just kind of a crazy stitch here. You can see my paint splatters and all that fun stuff. So now I'm just gonna add these little flower bits. I really hate that embossing. Do you ever do something and then you're like, why did I do that? That was not really very smart. You know, but it is what it is. I just can't decide now. I don't think I like the big one. So let me see. Let me see what else I have here. Nope. Nope. I have no shortage of scraps, but finding the right scrap that I want to use, that's, I don't want to cover everything up. That's my major concern here. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the right thing here. I think I'm going to use this for the top little piece, or you know, my tag topper here. There we go, and trim that off. I still didn't find what I wanted, did I? Maybe we can just add a couple. Maybe we don't have to do like a whole big thing. So lesson learned, if you're going to use collage medium, do it after you've done everything you want to do. I think, you know, the embossing would have looked nicer. Everything would have just kind of been nicer looking, I think. Trying to determine if I want anything else. Let me just pull this up here. Maybe that'll help. There's a little piece of lace. Not sure. I really like what's going on in the background, so I'm struggling to cover any of that. That's sort of where I just struggle with collaging in general. I like doing it, but I also struggle because, you know, everything's so pretty. I don't want to cover it up. And I just sort of decide to do things like after I've already, you know, done a bunch of other stuff. So it doesn't really, yeah, doesn't work like I wanted it to. All right. Anything else? Let's see. idea. Here's some cheesecloth and a piece of fabric. I'm gonna fray this up a little more. And I'm gonna cut a chunk off of my cheesecloth here. Maybe even a little more. And let's use a Tracie word. Since this is a Tracie challenge, let's see what we have here. This could take me all day to find the words I want, or the word I want. That'll work. Let me ink it up. And add a little bit of glue to hold that cheesecloth in place. Sorry for being indecisive. It's just part of crafting for me. I had somebody sort of complain the other day. It really knocks my confidence down. When I get comments telling me that I'm too slow or what have you. I guess I'm overly sensitive to that kind of thing. But anyway, so now I'm very aware of how long it's taking me to do things, and I don't know how to really speed it up because it's just the way I craft. So yeah, it's just the way it is. But I apologize if you don't like that. You know that there's always a speed up playback speed. Like, you can change the playback speed when you're watching a video. I've said this before, but you can watch a video up to 2 times as fast as it was, you know, recorded. So if you're ever watching and I'm going too slow for you, just speed it up. I won't be upset. All right, I think that's it. I'm liking it like this. Like, I don't want to add anything else. I don't want to cover up any more of what I've done. So this is going to be the finished product. I hope that inspired you today. It was a lot of fun. I doubt Tracie will watch this, but Tracie, if you do watch this, thank you so much for creating the challenge and for having such an amazing Facebook group. You do so much for us, and it's very much appreciated by me, and I'm sure the entire junk journal community. All right, so there we go. All right, guys, I will see you soon. I hope you have a fabulous day. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and stay healthy. And I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye for now.